Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Whenever I started my YouTube journey with y'all, I went ahead and did travel vlogs, fashion hauls, get ready with me's, skincare tutorials, makeup tutorials, and things like that. But I haven't really sat down and talked with you guys one-on-one on how I feel about certain issues and topics that are happening in real time. So last week, I did a questionnaire on my Instagram where I asked you guys a couple questions. Y'all responded, and some of you even responded asking me questions that I'm super excited to answer and share with you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and connect with me on all my social media outlets. And I really hope you guys like this video. Some of the questions that I asked you guys were, how is your 2023 going so far? Are there any goals you've set for yourself or you've achieved so far? What's your biggest struggle as a woman? How do you cope with pressure? What are your views on today's standard of dating? How do you identify healthy and toxic friendships? How do you handle situations that are no longer serving you? And also, I gave you guys some freedom to ask me any questions or give any statements on anything that I did not mention. The first question that I was asked is, how do you know when you're in love? Let me start off by taking a little sip of my wine to get prepared. It can be a different feeling depending on the person, but for me personally, if you need to clean your house, can I come help you? When you go into the store, let me come with you. If I'm going somewhere, come with me. You think about them whenever you wake up, whenever you go to sleep. It's just kind of a feeling where whatever you do, whatever they're doing, you guys are always wanting to be together and do it with one another. However, I'm not saying that you don't have your own personal time. You don't know how to function by yourself. Of course, know how to do your own things by yourself, but whenever I wanted to go somewhere, I knew that I could go with him and he'd be down for the ride. Also, whenever you're out and about, let's say you're at the mall and your significant other stated, I wanted this, I wanted that, and you're at the store, you'll look at it and you'll be like, oh, he told me he wanted this. Let me just go surprise my man. It might be different for you guys. Like I said, this is just for me personally and how I knew I was in love. One of the questions I asked were, how do you handle situations that are no longer serving you? And I got a response which says that with situations that are no longer serving this individual, they let go and let God. Listen, you can't survive any battle without giving it to him. You can try any tactic, anything. I promise you, you will not be able to let that situation be handled if you try to do it in your hands and your hands only. And I completely agree. That's something that I really had to learn in these situations that I've been in, the experiences that I've gone through. Just knowing that any situation that is placed before me, God is already in control of it. I can do all the complaining and the worrying here on earth, but at the end of the day, the situations happen. What can I do now? Am I going to make it better by sitting around complaining and dwelling on it? Or am I going to accept the fact that it's happened, accept what's going on, see what I can do, but also turn back to the one who we can go to in any situation, no matter what it is? And to continue on the same topic of letting it go and giving it to God, another response that I got was to not stress too much about situations and having faith that God's got me. I completely agree. There's no better feeling than knowing that you can give it to him. I'm not saying that it's going to be an easy process. You're going to still have a little bit of stress about it, and that's okay. Everything in life is not meant to be smooth sailing. It's not meant to be easy, because then what would be the purpose of life if it was just easy for everyone? Everyone has their own situations. Everyone has their own battles that they'll face. It's not the same for person A as it is for person B. So we're all on social media, and I know that what I see, you guys see, and what you guys see, I see. I know you see what our sis Lori Harvey has been doing in these streets, babes. Miss Ma'am is booked and busy. A lot of people have their own thoughts and opinions on Miss Harvey because of her dating history, From Trey Songz to Justin to Future to Michael B. Jordan. Y'all, I'm not even judging her because honestly, the way she approaches dating is a way that a lot of women need to approach it in the same way. Lori Harvey's standards are pretty much set in stone. She believes that she's the prize. If you're not meeting what she says that she wants to happen in her life, she moves on, doesn't give second chances. And I feel like that's something that a lot of women don't do. I'm not speaking for any of you guys. I'm just saying that because we are, loving people, we try to double back, give people chance after chance, but that's what opens the door to pain and to hurt. And of course, everyone has to go through their own experiences. Once you start having the Lori Harvey mindset, I promise you'll be chopping life like she is. If she was worried about what everybody was saying, as much of a celebrity as she is, being Steve Harvey's daughter, she can still be suffering with what's his name, just because she wants you guys to be happy on the outside in the public. What we need to keep in mind and take from her is to do what makes you happy and don't question what anybody says. Don't live for nobody but you and yourself. So for that, thanks, Lori. Continuing on the topic of dating, I had a response, 3 in fact, from the same person. She started off by saying, to marry for money and buy happiness because all of these men will show you pepper. If you know what it means to have a man show you pepper, you know exactly what she is talking about. And if you haven't been shown pepper yet, it will hurt. I don't wish that to happen to anyone. Honestly, that's just me. She continued to go on and say, if a man isn't treating you right, please leave. There are so many men out there. You know the saying, there's plenty of fish in the sea? I know right now, that man you really, 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 really want to act right. That's the one that's on your mind. Babes, there's more options. I promise you. You're not going to think about him a couple months from now, even a couple weeks from now, if we're being honest. We continue to just live in this bubble in our mind that the person we're currently dealing with is the person that we want to form and shape into our dream man. If he's not that right now, he's not going to change. Just go ahead, pack it up, leave peacefully, leave while you can, and you're not in too deep. There are so many men out there. The last thing she ended off with saying is to be specific when praying about your future husband. My mom has told me this before. I'm sure your moms have told you this before. Literally, you have to be specific in prayer about what you want. You can't just say, I want a man of God, I want a man who's fine, I want a man who's tall. What about his cleaning habits? What about his financial habits? What about if he's abusive? What about if he's capable of leading your household? Yes, we can pray for all of these things on the outside, but you have to be specific in what you want in your spouse in the future. All 3 points that she stated, perfect. She hit it to the T, because that is literally what I have been preaching and practicing. Someone said that they struggle with letting their guard down and trusting people, mainly when it comes to friendships. I'm telling you, before a man hurts you, the pain that you get from someone that was your supposed friend, the stories I have to tell, I don't think I'm gonna do it to y'all yet. Not yet. We're gonna leave that off the table for now. Friendship is a very touchy subject for anybody, especially when you have been friends with said person for a really long time and you've trusted them with certain things, and just feeling betrayed, that's something that you really can't explain to someone. The best piece of advice I could give to you is to know at what level you guys can be friends with each other. Are these friends that you go to the gym with? Are these friends that you can pray with and cry to? Are these friends that if you are in an emergency, you know that they will show up for you? Are these friends that you just go out to the club with? Are these friends that you just go on trips with? Not all friends are supposed to be your best friend. If you do not feel like you can trust them wholeheartedly and let your guard down, it might not be a situation that you need to be in anyways. Not saying that you need to have beef with that person or anything, but you might just need to step away and love them from a distance. If you guys remember, I asked the question, what are your thoughts on today's standards of dating? And I actually got like 5 voice notes from this individual, but honestly, bless her soul, because she hit everything to the T. Like, I want to make sure that we're all listening for this next portion and we are deeping this to its fullness. Pretty much to summarize it, she was saying that with today's standards of dating, us as women tend to be too emotional. We tend to wear our heart on our sleeves, give our all, think that we can demand certain things from certain men who don't carry the characteristics that we're looking for, and so much more. But with those three, I'm gonna go ahead and tackle them one by one to really give my honest opinion on what she said and how to make it click for you guys. So yes, it's true, we're lovers. It comes to us naturally. In some situations, especially with dealing with men, specifically men that aren't your man, you'll end up paying in the long run. It's not literally financial or transactional. You can pay for it by the amount of time you invested in this person. If you were intimate with this person, your mental well-being, all of these things are very important, and we don't think about it in the moment until it's already said and done. And I think the best thing to do, honestly, is to just take a step back, look at you and that person and how he's treating you, and think, okay, do I need to be available all the time for them? Do I need to let them have access to me and my goodies? Do they need to have such an impact on my mental health? And if the answer to any of those are no, that person's your friend and your friend only. Another part that I wanted to touch on is demanding certain things from men that are not in their peripheral at all. With social media, we can see this and this person on this and this vacation with their man, going shopping here, going out on fancy dinner dates there. And we sit here and we're like, wow, they're living nice, they're living lavish. Let me go ahead and demand that from the guy I'm dealing with, because that's the life I want to live. Is that man capable of providing that lifestyle to you? And two, are you doing that for yourself? Are you going on trips? Are you taking yourself out on shopping sprees? Are you taking yourself out on dinner dates? Are you capable of doing these things that you're wanting a man to do for you? Because at the end of the day, if that man is doing it for you and he decides to leave you, are you going to be able to continue to make yourself happy? Are you going to be able to continue to do what brings you joy? Or are you going to always solely look for it in another man, in the next man, in the next man? Yo, if your man works at Capital One and he's not a rapper, babes, how are you gonna demand Dior bags and Chanel purses with restaurant reservations at Nobu when the man who's a rapper is doing that on the daily? Probably not even because he likes the girl for real, but because he knows he has the money to do it. You need to know who you're dating. You need to know your limits. You can't be trying to compare yourself to what you see on social media, because you also don't even know those girls that you're comparing yourself to, their guy could be treating them horribly. They could be going to bed crying every night. Also, the way you carry yourself and the way you present yourself and the places that you look for your man, those are very important. If you are out in the club and you think that a man who approaches you is a man you can take serious, you are in danger. 9 times out of 10, from what my guy friends tell me, the women that they meet in the clubs is not no one that they're trying to be serious with. It's the hard truth to swallow, but don't shoot the messenger. I'm just letting y'all know what's really happening behind closed doors. Also, with the way you present yourself, do you have your hair kept all the time? Do you have your nails kept? Do you dress elegant? Not saying you need to be dripped out in designer. Men don't even really care about that, to be honest. Be true to yourself though. In all of this, I'm not saying change the way you are. I'm not saying you need to be really classy. You need to be really smart and all this stuff. Do what you're comfortable with. But like I said, know your limits. Know what you are and what you are not capable of attaining. In response to the question, what do you struggle with as a woman? Someone mentioned that they are struggling with embracing the stage that they are at in life currently and trying to not rush their process. With us living in a world where social media is where people showcase all the things that are happening in their life, whether it be job promotions, engagements, whether it be new car purchases, things like that, I can definitely see how it is heavy on us as youth and how we try to do the next best thing to be on the same level as the person next to us. I came to the realization that you don't know what that person went through to get to where they're at in life currently. You don't know if it was easy and you don't know if it was hard. Yes, they might be living lavish and they might have all of these things going well for them, but you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. And that's not to say that you're wishing ill on them or anything, but you need to embrace the stage that you are at in life currently because you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Everyone has a different race. My struggles are not the same as that person's, and that's what makes each and every one of us unique. We always ask. We want this, we want that, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to be this. But we're forgetting that where we're at right now is something that we've been asking for maybe months ago, maybe years ago. And we don't realize it until someone has to remind us that we are living in something that we were dying for before. Someone responded and said, guys have become sassy and want us to chase them. Guys have become sassy and they do want women to chase them. And I don't know what it is with that. I don't know what's in the air. Tone it down a notch. Another response that I got was on the topic of self-worth, as this person is struggling to find the definition of what their particular self-worth is. This is something that you really do need to sit down and just ask yourself so you can set that standard for how you handle situations that are to come to you in the future. It's not an easy process at all. Sometimes you might have to go through certain things in order for you to build and add on to what you define as your own self-worth. The best advice that I could give to anyone who is struggling in this area of their life is to first start off internally. Internally being how you view yourself, how you speak to yourself. Are you comparing yourself to others? Are you speaking negatively about yourself? These things will impact how you view yourself. You need to know your boundaries. What will you tolerate and what will you not tolerate? What do you think you are worthy of and what do you think is not worthy of you? What will you openly allow in your space and feel comfortable in? What drains you emotionally and mentally? These are just kind of the basis of self-worth and what I think are important factors in defining what self-worth is for anyone. It's really just what you set as your standards and your boundaries and how others will have access to you. And I know majority of the video we talked about like men and we touched base on friendships a little bit here and there, but self-worth definitely applies to each and every one of those situations, because once you start to speak highly of yourself, once you start to respect yourself, once you start to set those boundaries for yourself, you will see that even those experiences that you have with men, with your friends, and with your family can all be limited if you just start to take care of yourself and know your boundaries and know your limits. The last response I got kind of ties back into the topic of self-worth, but this person says that they set time aside for themselves and actually are present in those times. This can come down to you just sitting down, chilling after work, having some wine, and just relaxing and having time to yourself. We're in such an up and go society that we tend to not take the time to make sure that we are okay mentally, to make sure that we are well rested, whether we go to work, whether it's us going to school, going to the gym, side hustles, trying to juggle and balance friendships, relationships, families, things like that. I've definitely had to start setting time aside to where I can just be at home and just chill in my room, watch a movie, sometimes just listen to some music. As long as I have that time during the week where I can chill out, wind down, and relax, you'll start to see how it will benefit you and your mental health. If you haven't started doing it, I definitely recommend that you jump on the train. That concludes my very first girl chat. Hey. I wasn't able to get to all of the questions, but I really do appreciate all of your interaction and your feedback. If there are any questions or any comments that you guys have about the topics I touched base on today, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys want me to do a continuation of this or another series of questions that I'll ask you on Instagram and come on YouTube and answer for you guys. But I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check me out on my social media outlets and share this video with all of your friends. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.